Matt, we've heard some people discuss how there's going to eventually be a $1 billion company founded by one person with no other staff. A bit of a meme at this point, but certainly shows where people are thinking. How has your firm changed its expectations around founding team size?
Yeah, one founder plus one AI, right? That's the new founding
Or
team,
one founder
or
plus
many
50? Yeah.
many AIs. Yeah, look, that's interesting data. I hadn't seen that. Seems to corroborate what we see. I wouldn't say we ever had a particularly strong sense in favor or against solo founders. We have some. We have many founding teams. We have founding teams that are brothers. We have founding teams that are married couples. So we never had a sort of predisposition in favor or against certain formats. Um, I would just say that from personal experience and watching many companies over the years and working with many companies over the years, solo founders is cool at the beginning. It can get very lonely very quickly. You could argue that on the other end, founder divorce is one of the worst things in the world. But by and large, I've found that teams of like 2 to 3 founders, like people tend to be happier in good times and more challenging times.
Astasia, same question over to you. Any change in how Felicis approaches this, or is 2 to 3 still the place you want to write the most checks?
Yeah, we similarly have been agnostic to the number of founders. Typically, we do see two founders as the most common, but it is good to have a friend in the trenches with you. Many of our solo founders eventually do kind of anoint that number two on the team that becomes a safe space to work with. But for me, when I was looking at that chart, I was most surprised that there were actually so many teams with 5 founders. I think I had not really seen that before. I don't think we really see it as
Well,
much
now it's
in the
down to
market.
just 4% of the market, all the way from 11 back in 2015. But some
Yeah,
companies
that's
have.
that's also a bad idea from experience, like for anybody listening to this, because it solves a problem in the short term. Fast forward, 7, 8 years, you're the very successful CEO, founder number 2 or 3 or 4 of a company, and you own 3% of the company.
Well, yeah, but then we have companies like Databricks that had 7 founders, and they seem to be doing pretty well. But I'll take that's the absolute outlier. I want to go towards team size in general next, because as we're seeing founding teams maybe get a little bit smaller on average, we're also seeing companies trying to do quite a lot more with less. And Astasia, you mentioned earlier about how much of the labor market we can attack with technology. That appears to be showing up in how teams at startups hire or don't. Back in the day, the old riff was you raised and then you hired, took your burn up, and then tried to grow like hell. Talking to a lot more founders lately, it seems that there's less of an appetite for rapidly growing headcount. I'm curious, one, how much that's showing up in your portfolio, Astasia, and then two, if that changes burn dynamics or how long these companies have in between funding rounds, if they are spending less on people.
Totally. I want to take you back to 2020. Okay.
Oh
Growth
God.
at, growth at all costs 5 years ago, like hit the top line numbers. And I think there's a lot of learnings for investors and founders coming out of that era. And so, kind of seeing the high highs and the low lows of what it takes to build companies when it's growth at all costs. I think this next generation of founder is a little bit more pragmatic and sensible, but they're also empowered by these AI native products that they can adopt so they can get more leverage out of the founding engineers and they can potentially be more empowered to do the BDR work and sales and marketing and customer success without needing a huge team. So I think it's a learning from the past era of building, but also these Gen AI products that are just giving people more and more leverage.